Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Today's video, we're going to do some Shabbos cooking. It is great to be back in the kitchen here with you guys, and I'm bringing you another Shabbos video. I try to do one every season for you because Shabbos is a big part of my life. As a Jew, it happens every week, and we make big meals. We have 2 meals, and we cook a lot for it. And I absolutely love being in the kitchen, and I love bringing you guys along for it. So for every season that I make a video for you guys, I try to incorporate a little bit of a seasonal touch to the menu for that week's Shabbos. So today is going to be very springy, and we're going to bring in some of like the citrus and vegetables. I mean, I don't have vegetables coming in from the garden yet, but the fresh vegetables that you would have in the garden, those are what we're going to incorporate here today. So I started off with 2 things. You can see the pot over here going, because those things need some time to sit and cook or marinate and stuff like that. So we got those going, and now that I have my coffee, I can be here and talk to you guys and talk you through the menu. So first off, I'm not going to be showing you everything that I'm making because, like I said, it's a big menu. There's a lot of things that we make constantly. So I've shown it to you in the past, and if I haven't, chances are I'm going to show you in the future. So we're starting off, each meal starts off with bread. So I'm making some sourdough here, which I have shown you in the past, as well as some challah, which I make a big batch, a 5-pound batch of challah when I need to, and then I freeze it and I take out whatever I need, because I don't use the fresh challah every single week. For salads and dips that we eat with a challah, I am making some Matbucha here, which I have started, and I will show you guys once I'm done here how I make that. And we're going to make some jalapeno dip, a roasted jalapeno dip. And the next thing we're making is, I'm trying for the first time, an Arabian salad. Okay, sorry if I look a little bit different. My lens moved. I believe 75% that my husband enjoys the Arabian salad. I've never made it, but I think he likes it. We're going to try it and see how it goes over. And for the dips that I'm not going to show you, I'm making mayo, hummus, and tomato dip. For the fish, this is something fun. So lately I've been playing around with some cured salmon. I've been doing it for a few weeks now, trying to cure it, an entire side of salmon, trying to cure, like taking the side of salmon, cutting it into like 4 or 5 pieces, so they're pretty wide, but not the entire side, and curing those and trying like different flavors. Now I think, but pretty basic flavors, adding like dill or black pepper, not too much. And I think I've got the technique down. So we're going to try some fun flavors. The only thing different though, other than the flavors, is that I'm trying very thin slices of salmon this time. And we'll see how that goes. That is just more of a preference of how big I want the piece to be when I eat it. Which I think I might enjoy the thin slices, because like that it's like a 1-bite piece of fish. For the soup, I'm trying something new also. I wanted something fresh and exciting for the soup. So I found a recipe for a lemon Greek chickpea soup. So I figured it has a lot of protein because it has the chickpeas. It also has some eggs mixed into it to act as a thickener. So we're going to see how that goes. For the chicken, I wanted something a little bit more substantial, because lately I've been doing like beef jerky, which is more of a snack. But because we're doing the cured salmon, which is more of a snacking fish, I wanted a more substantial meat or chicken for the protein. So we're doing the lemon skewers. The rest of the menu I'm not going to be showing you. It is kugel, green beans, and cholent, which I have shown you all of them in the past. So like I said, I'll have a playlist for you in the description below. You can go ahead and watch those videos if you want to see how I make any of these things. And for dessert, I will be making a strawberry shortcake. And today is Thursday afternoon. It is almost 2 o'clock. Like I said, I've started only with 2 things, the fish and the matbucha. So we're gonna go through this list between today and tomorrow, cooking all of these things up. Now, with all of that said, let's go ahead and start with the cured salmon first. Like I said, the first thing we're starting with is the cured fish. And I have 3 slices. We're going to cure them separately. So I'm preparing 3 pieces of plastic wrap here so that they can each get wrapped individually. I'm going to get the salmon out and we're going to pat it dry. Okay, now I will get each of these slices onto its own piece of plastic wrap. And the recipe, now usually you would want it to be skinless. I forgot to do that. I still can, but honestly it's not something that I enjoy to do, so we're just going to skip it. Maybe I should remove it. I think I will. Give me a second. So recently I've been experimenting with some cured fish. I got the basics of it down and now I'm going to play around with flavors. So the basics of it is that you want the fish dry and you're going to dry it even more. So you don't want to introduce too much liquid. So we're going to start with a little bit of soy sauce. Not too much because again you don't want too much, you just want the flavor in there. So we're going to massage it into the fish. Again, not too much. And I'm actually using coconut aminos here. And because it's skinless, we can do it on all sides. Now I'm going to wash my hand. Okay, now for the dry rub for this, which is the curing part, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of kosher salt to this bowl. Now usually you would want equal parts of kosher salt and sugar, but because I'm making quite a savory flavor, I'm going to do a little bit less sugar to balance out the sweetness. So I did 2 tablespoons of sugar. Next up I'm going to peel a ginger. I am going to grate it. I need about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. And then I'm going to squeeze it dry to remove the most moisture possible because like I said, we don't want to introduce too much moisture so that it can cure properly. We're going to do the freshly grated ginger that we squeezed dry. Next is a teaspoon of black pepper. And last we're going to add the zest of 1 lime. Now we can mix all of this together. We've got this beautiful mixture. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay some of this mixture down on the bottom under the fish. We're going to get the rest of it on the top. I could probably have used a bit more. Maybe I'll just mix more of the kosher salt and sugar. I'm going to sprinkle some more on the sides. I mixed together 2 additional tablespoons of kosher salt and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. I've been doing them with a side of salmon, so it's a little bit different now with the slices. Okay, now all we're going to do is wrap the salmon up tightly. Now you won't be able to get it too tight with just the one plastic. So I usually layer it. Let me wash my hands again. So again, working with one at a time, I am now going to wrap it in the opposite direction that I wrapped it first. First I did the sides, now I'm going to do it from top to bottom. And once it's wrapped up, I'm going to set it in a pan. This pan is not long enough. Now that I have all 3 in there, we're going to put something heavy on top of it. I'm trying to think what I have long that is heavy. Okay. We're going to set this in the fridge. At the 12-hour mark, we're going to flip the fish over. We're just going to go like this and flip it over. And after 24 hours, this should be ready. Okay, next we're going to make the matbucha, and this is all the ingredients we need. For vegetables, we need onion, garlic, any colored pepper will do. I like the red for the pop of color, jalapeno. It does call for a lemon, but juice of 1 lemon. But since we have the lime from the fish, I'm going to use this instead. And if I feel like I need more, I have lemons and I have more limes, and I can add those, and cilantro. Then we have 2 cans of diced tomatoes and tomato paste, and for spices it's salt, pepper, and cumin. So we're going to start by dicing the onion. So I'm going to clear the board. You want to dice this up pretty small because it's going to be in the end product as is. So if you like it larger, keep it larger. If not, cut it small. Take the time, it's worth it. Now that we got that diced up, I'm going to get out a pot. Ooh. I'm going to get that heating up with a little bit of oil in it. We're going to add the onions and let it start sauteing. Okay, next up, we're going to dice our pepper. That was a big red pepper. Next up, I'm going to dice the jalapeno, but while I'm doing that, I'm also going to open up my cans of diced tomatoes. Okay, our onions are very close to ready, so we're going to quickly mince up our cilantro. I'm not going to mince up the garlic. Instead, I'm just going to push it through this to get it nice and small. Our onions have beautiful color. They've softened. So we're going to add our peppers and cilantro. I'm making a mess. I'm going to juice our lime in here along with our garlic. Next, we're going to add our cans of diced tomatoes. For seasoning, it's just for spice. I don't have an amount. I would say that's maybe 2 to 3 teaspoons. Gonna grind some fresh pepper in there. That was maybe 1 or 1.5 teaspoons. I'm gonna add some cumin, 1 teaspoon, and tomato paste. Probably 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup. Now we're gonna mix this all together. And we're going to let it cook low and slow for many, many hours. Next up, we're making some strawberry shortcake, and I just realized that I forgot to buy round pans. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate 8 eggs. And we're going to hold on to the yolks because we're going to need it. But we're going to start off with making a snow first with the egg whites. Okay, we're going to start mixing this together, and then as it's mixing, we're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to turn it on, and then as it's starting to whip up, I'm going to get out the rest of the ingredients that I'll need. Once you reach stiff peaks, you're going to add 3/4 cup sugar. I didn't realize that. I missed that when I was reading through the directions, so I just added it once it was starting to stiffen up, and it still came out fine. So I waited after I added the sugar for it to reach the stiff peaks. Once it did, I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients, and I'm going to alternate the wet and the dry. So I started off with 1/2 cup of oil, and I'm adding 1/2 cup of flour. We need 1 cup, but I'm dividing it. Then I'm adding 1/2 cup of orange juice, the rest of the flour, and then I'm adding 4 egg yolks. I'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, add in the rest of the egg yolks, and I'm going to mix it until it's well combined. And I also scrape down the sides 1 time before I turn it off to make sure that everything that accumulated on the top gets incorporated as well. Now, since I realized that I don't have any round pans, I think I'm going to bake it. I'm going to bake the cake in this pan over here. This I got recently, so I'm not sure the size of it. It is smaller than a regular cookie sheet, but I'm really not sure the size. I'm going to line this with a parchment paper, and I'm going to get our batter in here. Ooh, I think it might be too much. Let's see. It's still going to rise up quite a bit. I'll just do it, and I'll put another bigger pan underneath in case if it flows over as it's rising. So instead of it being 2 round cakes stacked on top of each other, I'm just going to bake it as one. Bake time will probably be a little bit different than the recipe calls for. And it'll end up being like a square cake instead of round, because I'll cut it in half and stack it. Okay, this will now go into the oven for 40 minutes and we're gonna check it. 40 minutes is for the round cakes. So we're gonna start with that and check it until the internal temperature says that it's done, or a toothpick inserted in the center comes out dry. I did the toothpick test at the 40-minute mark and it was perfectly done, so I took it out. Okay, so now that the cake is in the oven, I'm looking through my menu here, and sourdough is going, Matbucha is going. Let me give it a mix actually. You have to keep on mixing it to make sure that it doesn't burn on the bottom, because it's very easy for that to happen. Okay, so I have the dips and salads that I'm going to make later on today. I'm not going to make it now. I like doing that at night for some reason. The soup has to be tomorrow. Chicken is going to be tomorrow. Challah I'm going to make soon with my family. My family likes doing it together. That's it we're going to do right now. So I'll see you guys later tonight when I make the dips and salads, I guess. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes. I inserted a toothpick and it came out dry. So we're gonna get this out of the oven. And we're gonna let it cool over here a little bit. I think I'm gonna get it out of the pan and remove the parchment paper. It was quite a while later. We had dinner. As you saw, we made challah. And now I'm going to make our jalapeno dip. So all we're going to do to prep these is I wash them. I'm going to cut off the tops and I'm going to cut these jalapenos in half. Now depending on the spiciness level that you want, that's how many eggplants you would want to de-seed and devein, because that's where the spice is. I like a fair amount of spice, not too much. So I cut it out of half of them. All I do is I go along the rib and take it out. The chickens love the pepper seeds and they can't feel spice, so this is perfect for them. Now to our pan, we're gonna add some garlic, and I add a lot more than the recipe calls for because I like garlic. My family likes garlic. Add some oil. Now the recipe does call to add the spice later on when it gets blended, but I like to add it now too. When we made the matbucha, we used up our peppercorn, so I gotta refill this. I don't have a lot in here either. Gonna have to buy more. Yeah, I think that's enough because my mayonnaise has spices too. I'm gonna toast this together, and I like to put them cut side down on the sheet with the garlic in between everything. I'm gonna wash my hands, get this into the oven for 25 minutes. While the jalapenos are going, I already made mayonnaise. Now we're gonna make the Arabian salad. I forgot I need my blade in there. I'm just gonna use all of this garlic because they're pretty small. Next up, I'm adding 2 jalapenos. I cut them into chunks so that they're roughly the same size as the garlic and that they blend at the same time. Next up, we're adding 2 medium tomatoes. And again, I cut them into chunks. I'm gonna add some spices like cumin, pepper, some salt, and some oil. Now we're gonna toast this until it's chunky, but you don't want to blend it all the way. It won't turn on if it's not plugged in. Now we can process it. I think I'm there now. I'm not the one that's eating it usually, so I don't know what I'm looking for. But we're gonna get feedback, I guess. The salad was loved and it was the first one to be devoured. There's nothing left. I'm gonna make the tomato dip and hummus now. How much time is left on the timer?
There are 9 minutes and 13 seconds left on your jalapeno
I should be able to do it in that time. Our jalapenos are done. I added it to the bowl of the mixer. And we're gonna add some mayo and blend it up. I just got my kugel into the oven, and this is the state of my kitchen right now. This side is not so bad, but oh my goodness. Over here there's so much dishes. It is quite overwhelming to walk into the kitchen and have it look like this. So, before we continue with any more cooking, I'm going to clean a little bit so that I have the mental capacity to continue cooking. But this is a lot to deal with. And I still need more, so it's going to be even more if I leave it. Might as well just deal with it now so that I can work better, and then we'll clean again. So as you can see behind me a little bit, I did some dishes. I didn't do all of it, but I did that. The kugel is out of the oven, sourdough is out of the oven. I'm defrosting some chicken broth to be able to make our soup later. Right now we're going to marinate the meat, and we're going to make the cream for the strawberry shortcake. I have to put away some of the dishes to get to the cutting board that I need. Okay, I got my cutting board. Now that we have this, let me pull up the recipe. I think I'm actually going to prepare the marinade first, and then we're going to cut the chicken. So let me get a bag out. Should I do a bag or a bowl? I think I'll do a bowl. So I have this one in the sink from the sourdough. So instead of using one that's clean already, I'll use this one. And I just wiped it dry. Let me see how many pounds of chicken I have before I start. Okay, I'm a little bit shy of what the recipe calls for, but I'll do the full amount just to make it easier for myself to measure everything out. We're going to start with oil. Okay, we need some lemon juice. The amount that we need is 3 tablespoons, and 1 lemon should be about 3 tablespoons. And next up we need some minced cilantro, which is very wet. I'm going to mince this up. It's way more than 3 tablespoons. Okay, I don't think I'm going to use all of this because it's way too much, I think. I think I'll just use this. We need some minced garlic. So I'm just going to let this defrost a little bit as I keep them in the freezer. I'm going to start with a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Okay, I'm going to crush the garlic. And we're going to mix this together. Set this aside. I'm going to get working on the chicken. Okay, we want the chickens about 1.5 inches thick. Might not be doing it exactly 1.5 inches. And I'm going to get it into the marinade. Okay, let me clean myself up a little bit, and then we'll mix this together. Okay, we're going to toast this together and coat all of the chicken in this marinade. Okay, I'm going to cover this, and we're going to let it marinate for 20 minutes. And during this time, we're going to make the cream for our strawberry shortcake and preheat the grill. We're going to get the cream in here, not the cream, the whip. We're going to whip it up. Stiff peaks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our frozen strawberries. Usually I do this in my mixer. I hope I won't make a mess at this point. And we're going to incorporate the strawberries into the whip. I think I'm going to have to mix this in by hand. And if you're making this at home, do it in the mixer. It'll be easier. The part of the strawberries will be easier. I think that this is the best that I can do with this situation. So we're just going to start layering our cake. Let me get a tray. I found a tray that will work for us. I'm going to get just a little bit of the whip on here. And yesterday when the cake's cooled, I cut it in half and I wrapped it in some plastic wrap. Now I just need to figure out how to open this. Here we go. I'm gonna layer this down. We're gonna put this down, take off the plastic wrap, and we're gonna get about half of this cream and strawberries onto the cake. I'm gonna spread this out the best that I can. So usually when I do this with a mixer, the strawberries have broken up a little bit. Maybe I should have also taken it out of the freezer a little bit earlier. So it's a lot easier to smooth it out. I think that's the best that I'll get it. Maybe I'll just add a bit more cream to smooth it out. Now we'll get the second cake on top. Gonna get the rest of this. Ooh, got myself dirty. Okay, this is our strawberry shortcake. I am going to put this in the fridge. I'm ready to serve it. We'll just cut a slice. I will put up a picture for you on the screen on what it would look like if I used the round cake and the mixer to incorporate the strawberries. I'm gonna go preheat the grill. It's been almost 20 minutes, if not 20 minutes already, yes. And the grill's preheating. So we're gonna get these chicken pieces onto skewers. I have metal skewers, but if you have wooden ones, you would take the 20 minutes that this is marinating to soak those. And we're gonna get the chicken onto the skewers. I don't know how many pieces to put on each, so I'm going to start with 2. We're starting at the end, poking it through, and just poking it through a few more times. I think the smaller pieces I can do 3 right away. Okay, we've got all the chicken on there. Okay, we're gonna head out now. So I'm also taking along a board that I will get the chicken on once it comes out of the grill, along with some tongs. Let's go. Our grill is nice and hot. So I'm gonna place the chicken onto the grill. I'm gonna leave a bunch of the skewer out so that it's easy to flip. I might not even need my tongs. Once the first side looked done, I flipped them over, and because the skewers are so long and I stuck them out, most of the skewers out of the grill and far enough, I was able to flip it without using my tongs. In the end, and I think we can start removing some chicken. Oh, that looks delicious. I'm gonna turn these off. This looks amazing. Let's go inside. This was absolutely delicious, and I will definitely make it again, either for Shabbos and even just for dinner. It was really delicious, really flavorful. So it's quite a while later now. I did some more cooking, things that I'm not showing you guys in this video, along with some cleaning. And now we're gonna make our our soup. And I took out of the freezer some green beans from last year's garden. Gonna let it defrost a little bit before we start cooking it. And I think we should be able to make that while the soup is going as well. So we're gonna start with an onion, along with some carrots. I'm not sure how much I need, because it says cup measurements. And some celery that I have from last year's garden as well, so we're gonna use that up. So I'm gonna start by chopping the onion. I'm going to start heating the pan, the pot, or the Dutch oven. And I'm going to add a bit of oil. We need about 3/4 cup. So I'm just going to guesstimate when I've reached that point, because if I don't feel like getting a measuring cup dirty right now, I'm just going to try to make it the least dirty dish as possible. I'm going to get this and the celery into the pan. Keep saying pan, into the pot. And we're going to let this cook down for about 10 minutes. Oh, I need a lemon peel in here. Okay, so I got a phone call, so I couldn't tell you, but you saw me peel that. I added it in here. And I also need 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. So it doesn't say when to add it. So I think when I add the broth is when I'm going to add the lemon. Next, we're going to need 4 cloves of garlic mince, so I'm going to get that ready. Oh, I do know when I need to add that. And for that step, I can actually squeeze it right now into there. And I don't want to get my juicer dirty, but I think it's worth it because it's amazing. I get it every last drop of juice out. Okay, so that's ready for us. I think this has cooked down enough now. I'm going to add the garlic and let that cook for a minute. Right. Now we can add the broth, which I have the frosting right here. And these are actually my last 2 containers, so I have to make a mental note to add making chicken broth to do this. It's still a little bit frozen, I see. So that's okay, it'll just take a little bit longer to come up to the boil. Now we have to let this come to a boil. I can raise the heat a little bit. The recipe calls for 2 cans of chickpeas. I'm just going to do 1 so that I don't need it very filling because it's not the main thing of the meal. I'm going to rinse and drain this. Maybe I should cover it to let it come to boil faster. I actually wanted to tell you guys, I tasted the chicken. The first bite was a little bit spicy, but I continued eating it, and it was just a nice warm heat as I continued eating it, and it is absolutely delicious. Not too overpowering lemon, but because of the additional spices that we added to it, it's so unique, something unlike I've ever had before, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna measure out the orzo. I think I'm also gonna pre-measure my spices into this cup. So I've got a 3/4 cup of orzo, and we'll do a teaspoon of each. So a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of oregano. This is such a unique flavor profile for me, and I'm really excited to try it. I'm really hoping that you'll like it because it'll be disappointing for my family if they don't enjoy the soup. Okay, that is bubbling. I can see the vapor coming out. Now we're going to add in our chickpeas along with our orzo and spices, and we're going to let it cook uncovered for 10 minutes. Okay, so now while we're waiting for that, we can bring back our bowl with the egg. We're going to add eggs. The bowl with our lemon. We're going to add 2 whole eggs plus 2 yolks. I think this might be a double yolker, so I'm going to start off by cracking these 2. And if this is, actually let me start with this. If it's double yolker, I'll just add the egg whites. I don't know what I'm talking today, the egg yolks. And yep, double yolker. And now I'll just add the other 2 eggs. And I'm gonna whisk this together. I don't like throwing away the egg whites whenever I have to do this. So I just googled it, and apparently these freeze very well. So I'm gonna freeze it. It smells really good. I think I'll use the spinach for our soup here. It needs to be chopped. I'm getting my board back out. We need like 3 handfuls. And I think we're gonna freeze this as well. Now we're gonna whisk this, and we're gonna slowly add in some hot broth. A 3/4 cup of it to bring up the temperature of the eggs, because we don't want it to scramble when we add it into the soup. Now, we're going to let this go to low. And while we're mixing this, we're slowly going to pour in the eggs. But let this cook over low heat for 5 minutes, or until the broth is slightly thickened. We have to add the spinach now. Well, I was supposed to remove the lemon peel at some point, Oh, we gotta do it after this. Okay, we're fine. I see one lemon peel right here. I gotta find the second one. I got it. I hope it's that. No, it wasn't. I got it. I was about to give up. Okay, so now we can turn this off. We're gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped dill. Might just add a bit more. And then this soup is done. I'm gonna actually give myself a little bowl now to taste this. Look at that. Looks delicious. Oh wow. Very unique. I've never had something like this. We'll find out if my family likes it. It's been a lot more hands-on than I thought. So now we can start making the green beans. The green beans, actually, I said I'm not going to show you guys because I've made it with you in the past. I'm just going to continue enjoying the soup. I'm going to enjoy all the food that we made. Okay, so the soup, flavor-wise, I enjoyed it. My husband enjoyed it. The adults that I had here for the meal enjoyed it. The kids, not as much. And the second thing is, because I served it so much later than I made it, the egg had thickened up a lot. And the interesting thing is that a few people asked me if it has dairy in it, cheese or milk or something, because it was really creamy. And the eggs gave it that look and that texture, that feel as if it had that dairy in it. I forgot to cut our fish. It's been probably closer to 36 hours than 24, and I didn't flip it. So let's see what's going on with it. I'm going to take out one at a time. I'm going to unwrap the plastic wrap, rinse it. Actually, I forgot. I'm supposed to open it and let it sit in the fridge uncovered for about 2 hours before cutting into it. So it's close to Shabbos now. I won't be able to record soon. But if there's any extras, I will have to show you guys after Shabbos what it looked like, and I'll let you know how we liked it. I mean, it's not necessary to do this step of like letting it sit, so maybe I'll just cut it now. You want to use a very sharp knife, and we're going to cut it this way against the grain into the thinnest slices possible. Look at that. Nice and thin. I'm going to see if I can get it even thinner. Look at that. Beautiful thin. As I'm cutting, I'm going to get it into the container here. Might be easier, yeah. I think it's going to be easier for me to do it this way. When I serve this, I'm going to top this with some scallions. So this is what it's looking like right now. Not the prettiest plating in here, but it's not going to stay in here when I serve it. And I did see somebody that makes cured salmon, and she said a plastic bag, but I'm going to use plastic wrap directly over top the fish, and she says that it should stay a little bit fresher like this. I probably shouldn't have done the plastic wrap because it's just sticking to my hands. I'm going to get a cover, and this will go into the fridge. There we go. At the end of Shabbos, this is all the fish that I have left. I had plated it up with some soy sauce, drizzled with soy sauce and the scallions, and it was loved. The size of the fish was perfect, so going forward I would make it with this very thin slices of salmon, and the flavor profile was delicious. We absolutely loved it. I can see myself making it again and again and again. So guys, this is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this, consider hitting the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And I hope to see you in the next one.